How is there two people here already? Who are you? Tap chats, live chats are visible. Yes. Sunbanan. I'm quickly gonna share this to Twitter. Copy link. Sobuna. Nozuko, Tabang, Precious, Domfuti, Katiso, Mapula. Oh yeah, I just remembered something. Yo, I'm so glad I just remembered it. Sunbanan, Sunbanan, Buitumelo Penny, Sunbanan, Naledi, um, Maho, just moved now. Okay, Buitumelo, Naledi, Mahokong, Lerato, yay, Banins, Nibaninzi, Nibaninzi. Is my sound okay? So then, San Bingalala Nonke, Kamak. Do you know how much I love you? You're literally my favorite person. Thank you, Blue. Martha. Yo, is my sound good? Yay, sound is great. Okay. Um, sound is perfect. Yebo, let's go. Let's go. Hello to everybody that is streaming from out of SA. Um, everybody from SA, everybody that's gifted, here's a shout out for you. Hello from the US. See, Isabel, thank you, Ma. I appreciate you. So, I want to talk about two things. Literally ran from my headphones. Yes, you better grab them some headphones, right? I want to talk about two things, especially because in the past 2 weeks, this Friday and last week, we were talking about the signs of a spiritual awakening. And I didn't go all the way in, you know, I touched on a few of them. Um, Sorry if my hair looks funny. It don't matter, right? It don't matter. None of that matters. Um, I wanted to talk to you guys about that, especially because in the videos, sometimes I touch on the things that I generally feel are common, but I want to talk about some of the other things that a person experiences when they're experiencing a spiritual awakening. And for the most part, uh, we experience a lot of different things. Sometimes we no longer resonate with the friends that we keep. We no longer like the food that we used to like. Besides it making you sick, you just don't literally have an interest in it anymore. Like, you're like, why am I eating this food? Like, have I always been eating this food? You know, sometimes you don't even want to visit the places that you used to hang out in. Um, you know, so oh, and then my personal favorite is the dress code. When you realize that all of a sudden your ass, like, sorry, when you realize that you are starting to even dress differently, and you're like, but keep on. For the most part, there was a time in my life in my spiritual journey where I started wrapping my head. I would wrap my hair, and literally no one saw my hair for like an entire year. That's 365 days, yo. No one saw my hair because I was going through whatever I was going through. On a human level, you don't know what that means. You don't know what it resonates or is interpreted to, or what you can link it to. And CBT medicine with me stresses. It's different things. Guys, can I ask all 86 of you guys to firstly share the stream on your favorite platform. You can decide which one it is. And secondly, to hit the like button if you're happy to be here and you're happy for me to host you. Because if the numbers ain't right, I'm not going to keep doing these lives. I got to know that I'm doing it for a purpose and you guys actually enjoy your stay. Um, yeah, I don't want anyone about live streams. I do my moves in silence. And if you're a true fan of GMTV, then you'll hear. So, um, no one saw my hair. But one thing I want to bring to your attention is, guys, Indwaso. Indwaso being the officiating ceremony that makes you a healer. Indwaso is in different mediums as well. It's also in different practices as well. You could have Indwaso on a church level, but it'd be called differently. But essentially, Indwaso means that it's an officiating ceremony to ordain you into the work that you're doing at the time, right? So I want to um I want to make you aware that you guys, all of us, have been going through Intwaso several times in our lives. And sometimes it manifests itself as change or a change in behavior at that particular time. But here you are thinking that you're being weird or you're not being like your usual self. Khante, little did you know that that is an intwaso taking place at the time. That's when you start abandoning the food that you've been eating. You dress differently, you befriend different people, you take part in different activities, you want to move house, you you want to uh move to a different country, you want to change jobs, like literally, you want to switch up everything. You want to switch up everything. And you're thinking, okay, I've got this one question for you guys. Has any one of you guys ever felt like, I wish I could go somewhere, anyway, where I can start all over again and no one knows who I am? Like, no one knows who I am and I'm starting all over again. I'll hustle from scratch if I need to. But the crux of it is, I don't want to be here anymore. And perhaps you might be thinking, life is heavy, it's hard, it's challenging, it's difficult. And you're thinking that's what you're attributing it to. To you, you're saying, I want to move, I want to bounce. Because you're thinking, yo, I want to move away from my family, my partner, my job, my kids, whatever the case is. It doesn't matter what your reason is. But you want to attribute it to the challenges you're having. You never actually attribute it to your spirit is yearning for a change in such a way that you'd be more receptive to change if you moved and went to start all over again, more than you'd be receptive to the change now in the situation and the life that you've created for yourself. That happens to a lot of us. So that's what I mean when I say we have gone through Intwaso several times in our lives. And a lot of our callings come with, um, or rather, are triggered by a particular time or a particular event that takes place in our lives. The death of your favorite grandmother, who essentially is your mother because she raised you, a birth of your child, um, you know, or you got a new job, or you completed school, or you decided on a new lifestyle for yourself. And essentially, that catapulted and changed your entire life. But hi Tyler, you're such a fave. Uh, we don't realize because as a layman, as a juvenile person, especially when it comes to the spiritual world, we like to think that it's because of whatever's happening around us. But are we really paying attention? Like, are we really mindful of what's going on, even in our solitude, even in our hermit mode? Like, are we really mindful of that? Or are we just people who are just always reactive? And whenever something happens, we quickly want to round it off to the nearest denomination, the nearest circumstance, the nearest, even going as far as bang tagat, someone is bewitching me, something is wrong. You know, like maybe you wanna go a peacefully and you wanna go start heeding your spiritual call, wherever that is. Um, and you maybe a few times you make an appointment to go there, or on the particular day I'm gonna go to this place and I'm gonna start my call, and then something happens, which is like could be a basic thing for anybody. But because you are so committed to always rounding things off as a negative, you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't go there anymore. Maybe it's a sign. Yeah, it's probably a sign that bad things happen to everybody, but it doesn't mean that the path you chose for yourself is not the path for you. But because of how your mindset works or how you quickly want to attribute things towards a darker side, a darker sense, you are refusing to see things for what they are. What if at that moment, that bad thing that's going on with you is actually delaying your arrival time? Because at the time that you are wanting to move to this nation, to this moment, the place that you're in is is not ready for you. Like, it's not ready for you. There's currently something going on there that would impact and affect you negatively because of how weak you are in your heart and in your mind. It's not saying don't come. It's not saying that you're making a wrong decision. You might still need to go to uyophahla, uyobikela abadala. You might need to still go visit your maternal paternal homestead and make sure that you need to connect with your ancestors and let them know about your new missions or what you decided upon. But at that time, you were so quick to move into this dark space. And just to mention, in addition to that, some of it you're not really looking at just the dark side or the negative as if it says I should not go, but you're actually looking at it as part of a reason why you should not go. You are quickly going to say to yourself, "I, this is not the one," because you're looking for every reason not to commit to your transition, to your change. Like you're choosing not to go, not to do, not to start. This doesn't even just talk about a spiritual calling. This talks about a business plan. It's about the adventure that you've it's been etched in your mind, in your heart for the longest time for you to go pursue. But you're like finding every reason not to go about it. Like like you're finding every reason to remain small. You're finding every reason to remain in the somberness of your life because it's so comfortable. You're used to it. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't threaten you. Meanwhile, on the other side of your action is like the biggest life-changing move that you can ever do. Guys, you look at the likes of Abakoko Moyo, your favorite healers, your favorite celebrity, your favorite musician, and you're thinking, yo, these people are doing boss moves. Do you think I woke up as a healer? Or rather, do you think I woke up knowing that I'm born as a healer? All of us are born into the places that we're meant to be in. We're born for them. were born with the ability and the innate ability to be, navigate, and find and help ourselves get to those places. But because you are so ready to use social media to be a deterrent of you looking at your goal and facing your goal and doing the best thing you can do, you're going to find every reason not to do it. Like, you're going to find every reason not to do it. 1111, I love that. You're going to find every reason not to do it. If you're supposed to start something and your mom passes away, where's your headset? Where's your mindset at the time? Where are you in the mix of all the plans that you've ever wanted to do for yourself? Where are you? You're going to dwell in the biggest loss of your life. You should resonate with it. You should take the moment to mourn your mom, mourn the loss, and mourn the fact that that comfort zone has been pulled up from underneath you. But does that mean that when your mom left the world, your breath left your body? No. In the physical sense, no. You are highly capable. You are breathing just fine. You are just imbalanced because the one person that you felt was a rock in your life has been shifted. She's not gone, she's transitioned to become a different kind of aid to you. But the way we always denominate to the nearest dark side, the nearest reason not to, it means that with every challenge that you're going to come across, it's always going to take from you. It won't add to who you are. It won't ever add to who you are because you're ready. You're forever ready. You're forever ready to give up, to think different, and to abandon the mission. But yet I ask the question, why is it so loud in your mind? Why is it so loud in your spirit? Why is it so loud in your heart for you to go pursue this thing? Life happens to everybody. Life happens to every single person under the sun. Everyone. People share their hardships all the time, and you're able to comment, "Nese, apologies, I'm sorry." Like, you are able to say that to other people. But what they are saying to you in that time when they're sharing about this loss is, I've lost one of the most biggest people that I ever placed in my heart, in my life, and how I think about them. But I'm letting you guys know and I'm sharing my loss because it's a heavy burden. So I want help. It's a heavy burden. And I want those that have gone through this to help me go through my own. Those who have gone through this to add some kind of light. But it's not supposed to break you because that person left in the physical, but not in spirit. And if you understand spirituality, you know already that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So, but why are we so attached and so committed to the life form, Ewenyama? Why are we so attached to the life form of our skin, of our physical, that anything that has to do with our spirituality, we're ready to drop because it's uncomfortable, because it's challenging to us, because it poses many questions that we were never ready to deal with. Gloria, condolences, my love. Death is for all of us. One day, you guys are going to pour soil on my grave. It's untimely. Some of us dream about it. Some of us feel it. Some of us, it's different. But oksa la yo. We are going to leave this world. So my question for you tonight is, Knowing what you know about yourself right now, about who you are, what you're called to do in the world. What are you willing to do to help your spirit be able to transcend and transition to any type of form that follows where you are right now? What are you willing to do to help your spirit have an exceptional time, a meaningful time in the body that you occupy right now? What are you willing to do for your mindset, for your heart, for your spiritual eye, for your third eye opening? What are you willing to do to know more than you know right now? What are you willing to do? And once you're done willing, what are you going to do to help yourself along? Are you going to look for a spiritual teacher? Are you going to look for a business mentor? Are you going to look for a guardian? Are you going to find a peer that you feel is doing exceptionally well? And you feel like this person might have words for you to help you unstuck yourself from where you are. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? Guys, I've said this for many years that everybody has money. Everybody. Everybody. So I know it's not even on a financial level because it's what you choose to do with your money. It's what you place value on that's going to determine what you use your money on. If it's fashion, you're going to be the most fashionable person in the room. If it's to be gorgeous, you're going to be the most on fleek, on point person in the room. If it's to educate yourself, you're going to be the most bright person in the room. If it's to liberate your spirit and your soul, you're going to be the most deep person in the room. So, in terms of monies, that cannot be a challenge. It can be to a certain degree of how far you can get, but it cannot be the one that determines if you start or not. Putting petrol in a vehicle is money, yet you're out there taking snaps with your friends, hanging out in spots that you had to navigate to. How does that happen? Choices. So, in all the willingness that I may ask of you today, are your choices and your decision making aligned to what you want and need for yourself? Do those things even make sense? Do they make sense? Do they make sense? We all are given tasks or roles in our families, whether we're the breadwinner or we are the ones that help other people manage in terms of uh, their emotions. We're the most sensible one. We're able to help each other in the home make decisions better and not be emotional about them and be more, you know, really fact driven. Whatever the role is that you are given or that you have in the space that you're given, use it to the best of your ability, but never ever abandon your self goals and your self missions because you're absolutely no good to anyone, to anyone, even if you have the insight. I recently found out, I even forgot the medium and how I found this out, but the conversation was about you have, oh yes, it was a forum where I was invited to a sit in with a bunch of people, all of them strangers. Some of them knew each other, but all of them were strangers to me. And we're sharing conversations about what hurt us in our lives, what damaged us, how did we become the people that we are today. And someone was able to say, sometimes you're this friend to your friends who they call you up. Hey, friend, like, I need to vent. I need to talk to you. Like, do you have time? Or you just call and you like just go in and you can and about whatever story you have to tell. But you, as the receptor of all this information, do you have the capacity to hear your friend out? Yes, you love your friend, you love your sister, you love your cousin, you love your colleague. You want to help them navigate the challenges that they have. But do you have the capacity to hear this person out? Not even do you have the capacity to give them the answers they need. Do you have the capacity to be there for this person? And if your answer is no, don't waste any of your time, your friend or yourselves, because it's going to be falling onto deaf ears. And eventually, you run a risk of depleting your energy further because you held space for someone where you have no space for yourself. That's another question today. If you're going to go playing savior to the world and having a God complex, do you have the capacity to be hearing these stories? Because for someone to firstly open up about whatever it is, whether it's gender based violence, or it's a rape incident, or it's I lost my job, or I am being retrenched, or I am being liquidated, that's a deep thing to share, any of those. But do you have the capacity to sit there and listen to this person? That's the question I have for you today, amongst the others that I've asked previously. Randomly, I go on my Twitter and I ask these questions, and people feel like I'm attacking them or I'm making them feel like they're not doing great things in their lives, or I want them to reflect and whatever, however they perceive it. But I ask them because are they asking themselves these questions? Are they being personal enough with themselves to ask these questions? Because we've got this thing of being on autopilot when we're in the world. Like, we wake up in the morning, we know our routine, we jump into our cars, we jump into a taxi, we wait for our lift club, and then we go about our day, and like, it's entrenched in our bodies. Like, we can even do it with our eyes closed. But when are we being personal with ourselves? When are we being personal with ourselves? When are we having uncomfortable conversations with ourselves? Because we're wasting our time. Like, you're wasting your own time. If you're thinking you're not starting the business because someone else has started the business and something similar in the world, like, you're wasting your own time. You are wasting your own time. Because right now, in 2020, guys, do you know how many? That's how many, like, in the number, it says how many years we have been through. Do you really think right now there is still a unique business idea? Just asking. It's, there's things that are plagiarized, things that are photocopied, like, word for word. Those are different. But the concept of having a tech shop has been downplayed, overplayed, like, replicated in all the sense. But what is your unique flair? What is your unique addition to this concept of having a tech shop? What is your unique flair on starting a driving school? So you can't starting a business that is loud in your spirit, that is like ringing in your ears every time you go onto the social media platforms, you're Googling things that have to do with starting a business. If something like that exists in you, then it's begging for your attention. But quickly, we round it off to, but a concept like that already exists. A concept like that already exists. But are you doing it? Where's your concept? Where's your flair? Where's your touch? Where's your smart? Where's your intuitive intelligence? Because there's like intellectual intelligence. Where is your intuitive intelligence that's going to make you move differently? That's going to make you decide on things differently. Why are you sleeping on yourself? Why are you sleeping on yourself? Like, why are you sleeping on yourself? Like, why do you spend so much time on Twitter, on social media? Like, what is it out there that you're looking to find that you are not finding within yourself? Why don't you go start a new narrative? Like why? Like, why? And the irony is that when you are on social media, you are out there laughing at other people's attempts at greatness. You're laughing at a person that got shut down by a crash because they were brave enough to actually even attempt to speak to the crash. Like, you are a miserable person thriving on other people's misery because you're afraid of yourself. I'm afraid of being great. So, what did you come into the world to come do, hun? Like, you come here to come watch us? You come here to bear witness to other people's attempts at life? I didn't know that GMTV was going to be what it is today. I had absolutely no idea. Till today, I don't know what I'm doing. But my spirit says, Kubeg, it says, girl, you don't have to know where you're going. Oksalai, you're going. Oksalai, this bus, its wheels are turning. Destination unknown. Why should that bother me that I don't know where I'm taking this? I should worry when I run out of ideas of how to sustain this. I should worry if I run out of ideas. I should worry when no one ever visits my lives anymore or watches my views anymore. That's different. That's being able to examine, to look at the results of the work that you do, but it's work that was done. It's easy for someone to come onto my channel, tell me about why are you doing a YoTV presentation style, to tell me their opinion of the work I do. Show me yours. Show me anything that you're doing. Anything. Because if you want me to hear you, I gotta firstly see you. And if I see you, it means that you're putting in work. And I'm not here to compete with anybody. You can love all the other gogos in the world. Like it takes nothing away from me. Like, I don't even lose sleep. Because the mission was never about to be the most loved gogo. So if you don't know what voice is ringing in your heart and in your mind, then you're gonna navigate this world constantly. Firstly, being a copycat of what other people do, being misguided, and jumping onto every single trend that comes on, because when it finds you with no grounding, with your feet in the air. You don't know whether you're coming or you're going. Like, you don't know. I'm not even trying to sound like anybody. I'm not even trying to, like, do you understand that I could choose to do my content in the deepest language of Ubungoma? But then who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? To other experienced people? But they already know. So why am I talking to them? And if I go deep into my conversation, will you, as a layman, as a person of the streets who's curious about your spirituality, who's confused about the turmoil that's going on in their hearts, in their minds, in their bodies, in their dream state, do you think you will understand? No. So it's easy for someone to come and say whatever they want to say. Oksalayo. There is a history, there is a playlist of work done. Where is your history? Where is your history? Where is your history of attempts and failures? Because with every failure is an opportunity for great learning. If you look at the first video I ever did for YouTube for GMTV, it wasn't even GMTV then because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was sitting in my living room talking about how to pasha. That was my first. No lighting, no microphone, no script, not even any thought process. But I just realized that, hey, my inbox is loud. My inbox is begging for answers. And it's repetitive. So it was for me to open up my mind, my eyes to an existing thing in my life. I didn't go fetch something from far. I didn't go look under rocks for solutions, for bright ideas. That came after establishing and realizing that I am here for the people, and the people are here for me. South Africa is full of is it billions, millions, ne? Yeah, millions of people. The world is full of billions of people. Not every single person that's on this continent or on this globe is meant for you. Why do you want to be liked by everybody when you yourself don't like everybody? Like, what kind of disillusionment are you under? Like, why don't these things connect for you? Why do you want to be liked by everyone? When you yourself are so picky, you're so fussy, from the food you eat to the music you listen to how you dress yourself, to the route you take to work. Like, boa, pull yourself towards yourself. 2020 was one year that absolutely guaranteed that if you thought you knew something, you don't know shit. Like, you don't know it anymore. If you thought you knew your work and you were a master at your work, you had to master your work in your couch, in your living room. If you thought your business model was to go a particular way, COVID said, reset, shake things up. How creative are you at problem solving? Or are you now found destitute, with no plan, with no, like, you crumble ridiculous, you even close the business because, like, my business model was not like that initially. So what? When do you transition from being a mere mortal to a spiritual being? When do you transition from being a businessman to being an entrepreneur? Because an entrepreneur is someone that is constantly solving for problems and not sticking to the concept of what they were given. When do you stop having that robotic mindset of the coding that you've been put, and now you're just running? You're just running because that's all they ever said to you, was just run. When are you going to question? Why are you here? Hello? When? When? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you living? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you on the live? Why are you living? Why are you here? What's your why? What's your why? And if you can understand your why, your how is going to be so different. It's going to be so different. Guys, life is not Instagram. It's not the gram, yo. It's not the gram. Hence, the gram has filters. Does your life have a filter? Are you living a life filtered? Are you living a life that's filtered? Because facing yourself under normal is not good enough for you. No, ke a botsa, ke lwa. I'm not fighting. I'm just passionate. I'm certainly not fighting. I'm just passionate. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm not going to keep things in my life just because it makes me look good. I'd rather be alone. I want things that are going to add to me. And if I think I'm so right, they must challenge me so I can understand my thinking of why I think I'm so right. Not to just agree with me. What gain will I have because I'm being agreed with by everyone? Yes, guys, please remember to like the video. Like, what's the gain? Again, why are you living? Ophelela eng? Ophelela eng? Ophelela eng? That has been 42 minutes of my life that I've shared with you guys. Just to remind you that there is so much more to this life thing than showing up to parties, being the flyest girl in the group of friends, being the guy who has the most success, or with getting girls. Like there's so much more to life, guys. It's like life is so deep. It's as deep as you're willing to go, but it'll be shallow if you keep running away from yourself. It's going to be shallow. And you're going to keep attention seeking everywhere you go, every relationship, everything, attention seeking. The easiest way to know how well you're doing is look at the relationships that you've been keeping, whether romantic or platonic or anyway. Look at how those relationships end when they do. What's the common denominator? And if it's you have work to do. Because all those people can be wrong. What is your history? Show me your history because I'm showing you mine. Go into playlist, you'll see my history. If you're going to have a conversation or have a comment about anybody else's life, anyone's life, if you are ever going to have a comment about anyone's life, someone just tagged me on the fact that AKA opened a club and one of the pictures says, there's like lighting in the back and the graphic says, you better be naked when I get home. This person tagged me on that picture and asked and said, um, I don't feel okay about this. I'm like, what's it to you? Like, what's it to, like, if you are going to have a comment, if you are going to have a comment about anyone's anything, ask yourself, what's it to you? How does it change your life? Is it misleading? Is it like promoting violence? Is it like, what's it to you? Like, what's it to you? It change mo bophelong ba hao. My best is, lol, my best is when someone comments or rather posts something and then and then your comment is about you. and not even about whatever is posted. Like, that's my best. Because, like, I think, why did you comment? Like, no one asked you about, you know, it's so different if you're trying to match those things and show relation. But, like, when you go off on a tangent and it's about you, it's like, why did you bother yourself? Like, why'd you bother? Why'd you bother? Do you love hearing yourself speak? Do you love having attention that much that you've even deviated from the conversation in itself? Like, why are you so high on attention? Why are you so high on attention? Okay, we're gonna give you attention. Are you gonna be able to hold it? We'll give you attention. Are you gonna be able to hold it? Are you gonna be able to hold our attention? But anyway, good people, before y'all guys start getting restless and feeling like I'm attacking you and being personal again, I'm always personal. So the other meaning of refilo means personal. Lol. Good night, beloveds, and thank you so much for joining my stream. I'm random. I don't announce. I'm random. And if you're a true fan of GMTV, you'll get the plug. Thokozani, bogogo nabomkhulu. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining on. Share the stream. Let other people know that I was nabo. We're not gonna hold conversations just to be cool. That's easy. Being cool is easy. Put on some fashionable clothes, hang out with the right people, you know. But when you're alone in your house, how do you feel about you? Again, what do you live for?